Hey, it is Friday. Welcome to your go-to show for sports here on the Shore. Delmarva Sports Insider. I'm Anthony Joseph.
And I'm Chris Brunk. Thank you for joining us. We've got a whole lot to get into. Isn't that right, Anthony?
We certainly do. It's always jam-packed. Let's go over what we have in store for you tonight. We'll be hearing from SU softball head coach Lacey Lord after a team completed another impressive season, plus one local high school golfer making history for his high school.
We've got a huge announcement you'll want to hear if you're a fan of field hockey or a fan of the beach, and tons of great student athletes wrapping up their high school careers at graduations around Delmarva this week. But Anthony, we start with a golf tournament that was braving the rainy weather out there today.
Did you bring your golf club?
I stayed inside.
Okay. Today, Warwick Community College Foundation hosted their annual golf tournament at the Ocean Resorts Golf Club in Berlin. Since 2002, this tournament has been raising money through sponsorships and donations, with the proceeds going to student education. Since then, Warwick has the course donated by an anonymous donor. It was anything but a regular tournament, as a hole 8 was a chance to win $30,000 towards a new car. Hole 12 was where you could bet on a shot, winning double if you go on the green, as well as a silent auction and a 50-50 raffle. On the course, we bumped into a sponsor who told us the reason why he got involved in the golf tournament.
Part of my job with Educational Systems Federal Credit Union is to facilitate the relationships between our organization and the community colleges all around Maryland. So we decided to support Warwick College in this endeavor. We sponsored a couple of holes. We constantly partner with the college in anything that they want to do.
Well, Anthony, in her 5 seasons at the head of the program at SU, softball head coach Lacey Lord, she's done nothing but win. In 2025, she led the Seagulls to a 36-8-1 overall record. They won their 4th straight NCAA regional championship. Back in her playing days for the Seagulls, Lord was no stranger to accolades, a 4-time All-American pitcher for SU from 2003 to 2006. Now she's being recognized for her excellence as a head coach, continuing the winning tradition of Salisbury softball. Lord has been named the Division III Coach of the Year by the Eastern College Athletic Conference, the 2nd straight season she's won this award. Of course, she would never take the credit, so here's Coach Lord talking about what her team accomplished this season.
They stepped up and did what they needed to do to put us in a place where we wanted to be at the end, playing for the Super Regional Championship for a chance to get to the World Series. And so, I think we had some young players that stepped in that, had not had a lot of playing time leading up until this year, and were able to take the reins in some big key positions and play great defense for us. And, I really am just proud of this group. I think, when you look back on it, it really was a successful season. I think that we squeezed every bit out of them that we could.
It was also a great season of high school golf, and it ended in something we haven't seen in decades at the DIA Championship at St. Anne's Golf Course in Middletown. With the second day of competition canceled due to weather, Sussex Central golfer Jake Hollerback took home the boys' individual championship after shooting a personal best total of 68 in round 1. Hollerback became the first Sussex Central golfer in 40 years to win an individual championship. Only a sophomore, Hollerback talks about the great round he had at St. Anne's and where he goes from here after finishing at the top of the field with half of his high school career still ahead of him.
Right away, everything. I rolled a couple putts in good right away to start, and iron shots, first hole and second hole were great. And then the third hole is one of the hardest holes on the course, and I played it pretty well. And then once you get past those first couple holes on the front nine, you're in a great spot. Next is really states here next year. I'd like to defend it and maybe win it again.
So Jake Hollerback makes history in 2025 as the first individual golf champion out of Sussex Central since 1985, the school's second ever. But what was it that happened 4 decades ago that makes this such a big deal? Well, all those years ago, it was Sussex Central golfer Bill Hansen who took home the boys' individual crown in his senior season, shooting 150 flat across 2 days at Mapledale. Henson went on to play Division I golf at Penn State, and he still gets out on the links when he can, now as the co-owner of First State Chevrolet in Georgetown. Here's Hanson on what he remembers from that championship 40 years ago, and his reaction to finding out someone had finally etched their name next to his in the record books.
My senior year, not only did I win the individual, but our team was second in the state, which is also the highest that Central had ever finished in the entire state. So had a really good run over several years with a lot of good players that were all friends of mine, and we're still close today, a lot of the guys that were on the team. Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. You know, all records and all things are meant to be equaled or broken, so it's good for him that he's done that as, I believe, a sophomore in high school. So he's got a couple more years to improve on that.
Stay updated while we're at these games in real time.
Make sure to follow WMDT Sports on Facebook and X right now.
USA Field Hockey is teaming up with the town of Ocean City to bring National Indoor Festival to the area. This event will take place at the Roland E. Powell Convention Center in OC from December 19th to the 21st. This event will allow young athletes to have a chance to learn the sport, play, grow their indoor field hockey skills. The National Indoor Festival features age divisions for U10 co-ed, U12 co-ed, U14 co-ed, U14 girls, U16 girls, U19 girls, and U19 boys. With a focus on skill development, teamwork, and sportsmanship, there will be 130 teams that will be playing field hockey in OC at the National Indoor Festival. The USA Field Hockey's Director of Events, Madeline Rascon, talks about the competition.
A festival type event, so there's no qualification standards. Pools are grouped by like ratings, so before a team even comes to compete, we are asking questions on skill level, age of experience, levels, range of experience, so that way we can better create pools that are fair and competitive. We honestly don't want, a team coming in and getting, their butts completely kicked. We'd like for it to be a very enjoyable experience where it's competitive, and it's grouped by same skills.
We're calling our first time out, but when we return, I'm sitting down with head coach Ben Evick and pitcher Jackson Clampett after Cape took home their third state title in program history.
We've got that and more when Delmarva Sports Insider returns.
Hi, I'm Jody Holloman, Club Director for Shorebirds Field Hockey, and you are watching Delmarva Sports Insider.
To Delmarva Sports Insider, my special guest, head coach Ben Evick and pitcher Jackson Clampett. Congratulations, you won another baseball championship. Coach Evick, how does it feel?
Oh, it feels great. These guys worked hard all year long, so they got to that goal and couldn't be happier.
Of course, being a senior, you wanted to go out a winner, you did, so how does it feel?
It feels great. I mean, looking on freshman year, I wasn't able to play baseball, and seeing them win that year and then winning my senior year feels great.
What was the coach's message after the team won?
Really just great job, great season, and what a way to go out.
Coach, describe that game. It was, you jumped out, the offense was really performing at a high level. You knock off Conrad. Talk a little bit about the game plan and what emotions were going through your mind as the game went along.
Yeah, I mean, the game plan was kind of attack them the way we did earlier in the season, be aggressive in the box and, try to put some runs up early. We scored in the first, so I think that led to some confidence, and then we had a big inning. They changed pitchers, and I think he kind of, gave us a different look that caused our guys to have a little bit of a different approach in the box, and we didn't quite keep putting those runs up like we had earlier in the year. But emotional wise, I was excited, just like the kids are. And we felt like we were in a good spot. We were up 6-0, and we knew that there was going to be a moment where we had to, I talk about that to them, weathering that storm, and we did. Jackson did a heck of a job there, getting through that inning, and they put up 3 runs, and we still felt comfortable. So, it was a kind of a little emotional roller coaster there. When they start putting some runs up, you want to feel like we're still in a spot we need to be in to win, and we were. We got that last out that inning and felt good.
Jackson, so you threw 6.2 innings, so picked up your biggest win of the season, 8th. What was going through your mind when you were trying to weather the storm, as the coach was talking about?
Really just throw lots of strikes and try to, honestly, it's not always about striking them out. It's sometimes about letting them hit the ball and getting themselves out. So really just throwing lots of strikes and just letting them get out and make it through the innings and win the ball game in the end.
What pitch was working for you that day?
Really, so curveball is usually my pitch, but I wasn't throwing it as much. I was throwing a lot of fastballs and a lot of changeups.
So also you had a hit on the day, you had a run scored. Talk about your performance.
I mean, pitching-wise, I mean, I'll always remember that. Hitting-wise, I just got a hanging curveball and snuck it through between the third baseman and the shortstop. So, and then ended up scoring that same inning, so it felt great.
Coach, you had a lot of seniors on this team, Malachi Woods, a lot of different ones. What kind of stood out throughout this year, being able to bring home, another state championship for all these seniors?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the big thing is that these guys really bought into, pushing each other and having each other's backs and refusing to lose. And our leadership this year from our seniors was just, like no other. I mean, they really did come out and work hard every single day, held each other accountable, and performed obviously at the, peak pretty much all year long.
You talk about that 21-1 on the season. What kind of leader were you throughout the year?
Really just getting my team motivated between games and also like keeping energy up during games was really important. And I think that our energy throughout the season, I think, was one of the things that helped us win lots of games.
How would you sum up your senior season?
Lots of great performances pitching-wise, and just keeping our teams in games, and just a great way to finish my high school career.
So, Coach, we're wrapping this up. Time is going by very, very fast. Mason Fluharty, becoming one of the best relievers in Major League Baseball. What are your thoughts on his success?
Yeah, it's not surprising. I mean, Mason, even when he was with us, had really good stuff. He closed out the state championship game in 2018. He went to Liberty and immediately started to have success there. He's very deceptive, and he has always had that kind of bulldog mentality that he's going to attack hitters and make them get themselves out, and that success just continues for him.
And quickly, your final question, because we have to go. One day you would want to be drafted and be in the majors just like Mason.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to. I'd love to keep working hard, and maybe one day I will.
Well, thank you so much. Congratulations on winning another state championship, and best of luck to you. Back to you, Chris.
Well, coming up, a bust in Seaford leaving 2 adults arrested and in custody. Plus, a Harbison man was arrested in connection to a burglary at the Indian River Volunteer Fire Company. We'll have those stories and coming up after the break.
Hi, this is former Super Bowl champion Chip Lowmiller, and you're watching Delmarva Sports Insider.
Evening and welcome back. A bust in Seaford turning up thousands of bags of heroin. Police say they pulled over Devin Cannon as he was wanted on several warrants. And while the arrest was being made, police say that Maya Newcomb stepped in and tried to take something from him. That's when police say that several bundles of suspected heroin fell to the ground right in front of them. Their vehicle was searched, and officers say they found more than 2,200 bags of heroin and nearly 4 grams of crack cocaine. Both were arrested and hit with several felony drug charges. Meanwhile, in Millsboro, a Harbison man was arrested in connection to a burglary at the Indian River Volunteer Fire Company. State police say that 52-year-old Eugene Marple broke into the firehouse overnight on June 4th. Investigators say he got in through an unlocked door, damaged part of the building, and stole property before getting away. Troopers tracked him down the next day and arrested him without incident. Marple, who has no connection to the fire company, is facing burglary charges but has since been released on bond. Moving on here, Doverdale Park in Salisbury has gotten a major makeover. Yesterday, brand new playground equipment was unveiled at the park. Construction took about 3 weeks to complete, but the project started years ago through a grant from the state of Maryland. City officials saying it was a long time coming and that they're hopeful that the new equipment will encourage kids to get outside.
The city is just really proud and really happy to bring this to the community, to give them a space to play for the kids, to be and a place to go after school and have some fun and get outside.
The new equipment is inclusive for children of all abilities. And now let's toss things over to Chief Meteorologist Rich Werdzik for the latest. Rich, I know we got more rain on the way.
Oh, we do, and I wish I could have a little bit of a makeup for how today ended up, but it's not as much of an elongated rain event tomorrow. So that's how we're going to frame this for us. This is what it looked like in Concord Pond, just off to the east of Seaford earlier. Meteorologist Eric Alf was out. He noted how the sun was trying to come out while it was still raining here at the pond. And that was the battle through the afternoon, trying to get the sun in here, get rid of the rain. And eventually, and I mean, it was like slow motion how this worked out in the evening. Eventually, we got rid of it. But now we're just left with that moisture at the surface, which has made it that much more humid, that much muggier. Shawatersville sky cam in downtown Georgetown, and a quiet evening otherwise. Hit 73 today at the Salisbury Airport in a day where we averaged 80, but there are some parts of Delmarva that surpassed 80 degrees because in the northern and northwestern spots, we didn't see much rain at all. Let's talk the mid-upper shore. Cambridge and Easton, 6/100 of an inch of rain. Compare that to other spots across Delmarva. Such a localized event. Georgetown just under an inch, the same in Gumboro, but 1.5 inches just under that in Salisbury. Look at these numbers here. You go up through Fruitland and Wallops, 3.5 inches. I had to check that, and that is an accurate reading out of northern Accomack County. Man, that was a lot of water today that fell in areas that didn't expect to see more than a few showers. Chucky and Lewis right now 71. Ted and Millsboro at a very warm 71 degrees apiece. So we have low pressure that was irresponsible for all of this today. That is moving off the coast slowly, and we're going to be done with that. But what is happening here is it moves out. This boundary here is just going to slide in as a very weak cool front. And we show you the two colors there, that red meaning the warm front and the blue meaning the cold front. That means a boundary between slightly cooler air and much more humid air. And that means also the boundary isn't moving very much. So where I'm going with this is when it sinks into the area, it's just going to stall and hang out. It'll be the focal point of more showers and storms. Might have one here overnight, and then another round coming in, let's say late morning to early afternoon, west to east. This could have some very heavy rain. The timing might be good, though, for the severe chances because leftover clouds from that may not allow for enough sun to re-energize the atmosphere for evening thunderstorms. It's a wait and see, but that's what we're looking at the moment. Sunday, we're going to do this all over again because, as I talked about, that boundary slides in and then just decides to hang out here in the mid-Atlantic. So we're looking at scattered showers and storms both afternoons here this weekend. Continue very warm and muggy. With that said, the boundary should sink far enough south that the high severe threat both tomorrow and Sunday will stay just south of the area. If that boundary was to sneak north on Sunday, we may have to talk about some stronger storms for us. So definitely check back in throughout the weekend. Meteorologist Eric Alf will have updates for you. Mostly cloudy skies, a passing shower tonight. We'll go with showers and storms again tomorrow. There will be a little bit of sun and certainly many dry hours tomorrow. Same idea Sunday. Monday's going to be quiet, warm, and humid. Anthony, we're going to do it all over again Tuesday with more showers and storms, and it's going to feel like summer for the rest of the week.
I am tired of all that rain there, Rich. You know that, but thank you anyhow. Stick around at an event that takes place in Salisbury to raise awareness and funds for a special cause. And Rich was the MC. You're watching DSI.
Jim Berkman, Salisbury University men's head lacrosse coach. Man, am I excited to be watching Delmarva Sports Insider.
To Delmarva Sports Insider. Recently in Salisbury, a special event for cause close to many hearts. The National Kidney Foundation holding its annual Salisbury Community Kidney Walk, an event that promotes awareness for the 37 million Americans living with chronic kidney disease while raising money for research, patient services, and education. Participants join for any number of reasons: to support a loved one, to share their own experiences, or just to connect with the community. This year's Kidney Walk brought in over $16,000 in donations. Paul Butler is a kidney recipient and was able to raise over $1,200 for the cause. Now his third year participating in the Kidney Walk, Butler explains why he walks.
There's so many people with kidney disease, and 100,000 people are on the list right now nationwide to get a kidney. And I come out and walk, and this has been my third year doing this because at first I needed a kidney. I was blessed to get a kidney, for my daughter. And I'm just out here to support anybody who has chronic kidney disease and who needs, help, who wants to get off dialysis and get that kidney transplant. So that's why I come out.
Now, Anthony, we're all excited for summer to finally be here, especially if you're a student, though. It's exciting because that means that it's graduation season for all the high schools around Delmarva, with tons of incredible student athletes moving on to the next level. Lake Forest High School in Felton held their graduation ceremony on Monday, a bittersweet goodbye to their class of 2025. Among the graduates was Bryn String, a two-sport star on the Spartans' soccer and field hockey teams. Excelling in the classroom as well as on the field, String was the valedictorian of her class, on top of being a first-team All-State selection in field hockey this season, leading her team with 26 points on 11 goals and 4 assists. The University of Delaware commit talks about how she grew throughout her high school career and what she's looking forward to about playing at the next level.
I think definitely from freshman year to now I've grown a lot in being able to speak up for myself and just who I am as a person. I think I was very shy and very timid as a freshman, and so being able to even be here now talking, being very confident in myself and growing into kind of who I am as a person has been a big change for me. I'm excited to meet the girls. I'm excited to get on campus and just take my play to another level. It's something very different. In college, field hockey from high school is playing on a new surface, so I'm really excited.
Also at that graduation, taking the next step in his journey was Darius Miller, another two-sport athlete for the Spartans, as a guard on the Lake basketball team and a receiver and defensive back on the football team. Miller has reached some remarkable milestones in his time as a Spartan. Now committed to play Division I football at Delaware State University under head coach Deshaun Jackson, Miller reflects on how he developed as a player and a person in his 4 years at Lake and the chance to play under former NFL star Coach Jackson.
I think it's more so my maturity and my leadership. In freshman year, I kind of didn't really take it as serious because we were getting beat pretty bad every game. So I was joking around about it. But now I take every game serious. I take every game to heart. I want to win every single game that I play. It feels great being able to be coached by Coach Jackson and getting the opportunity that I always look for.
And Delmar High School holding its 123rd commencement ceremony. 177 seniors walking across the stage at the Wicomico Youth and Civic Center. Of course, Delmar had many impressive senior student athletes this year. Among those receiving their diplomas, though, was Delmar football's Isaiah Holbrook. Holbrook, a 6'2" 210-pound running back who was part of the Wildcats run attack under head coach Dave Hearn. He's committed to play football at Salisbury University next year, where he will be teaming up with his current teammate Khalid Schoolfield. Holbrook talks about the emotions of ending his high school career and moving on to play for the Seagulls under head coach Sherman Wood.
Really happy, but it's can't get too excited. Got to start college soon, so just try to keep it humble, be humble. It's definitely excited for sure. I say just meeting the other guys, because when I'm there's already guys that's been there 3-4 years before me, so just learning from them and what they've been through, and also guiding me to become a better player, also a better student as well.
I want to first go back to the kidney walk. We really want to thank Rich for being the MC of that because it's a great cause. So many people there going that, trying to raise awareness, and Paul Butler does a great job, really as a spokesman, getting out that awareness because people, of course, really need kidneys, and kidney disease is a disease that affects a lot of people.
Yeah, and it was really cool seeing so many different people come together from so many different walks of life. People sharing their stories, that kidney recipients like Paul Butler and other people, and then, just family members coming to support, someone walking who needs a kidney, people just coming to support to raise money. So there's so many different reasons that people came out, and everyone had a great time.
And they certainly did very, very quickly. All these graduations, all these superstars, Darius Miller, and also Isaiah Holbrook teaming up with his former player Khalid Schofield, playing for head coach Sherman Wood. Coming up, find out who's going to be the WMDT Athlete of the Week. You're watching Delmarva Sports Insider.
I'm a UMES basketball player, Kai Shaw, and you're watching Delmarva Sports Insider.
All right, wish I had better news for the Highland Kia dog walking forecast. Well, if you do it in the morning, it's more than a guarantee you're probably going to be okay. You get past 10 a.m., might run into some rain here. So I've got the yellow paws on there, scattered showers, a couple thunderstorms embedded. Callie and Pippa, thank you, Mark, for the wonderful picture. Well-behaved duo right there, posing for the picture. Good doggies right there, and I'm sure they'll be very happy to be able to get in that walk for tomorrow if they can get it out there early. All right, got to walk over to the computer here, and advance this graphic so we can talk about the marine forecast. Boaters should be okay for tomorrow with the exception of the lightning threat, and that goes for beachgoers here in the 7-day forecast as we talk about showers and storms both tomorrow afternoon and Sunday afternoons. But other than that, it's going to be a warm and humid weekend, so there will be some dry time to enjoy being outside. And then Chris and Anthony, we're going to keep it very warm and muggy next week. Tuesday's a storm day, it looks like, and the heat index could be pushing toward 90 by the end of next week.
Rich, I think the best day is Thursday. It's time to unveil the WMDT Athlete of the Week. It's Trey Hitchcock. Trey Hitchcock had a big game in Cape's championship win against Conrad 6-4. They won their 3rd state championship.
And we want to hear who you think should win next week's award. Send in your suggestions to our email, sports@wmdt.com.
Now, besides the WMDT Athlete of the Week, my favorite sports community calendar. Delmarva Shorebirds return home on Tuesday against the Salem Red Sox 7:05. This is the first game of 6 with them.
It's also WMDT Wag Your Tail Tuesday. I'm pretty excited for that one, Anthony.
Are you going to wag your tail?
I wag my tail up here every Friday night.
All you have to do, just make sure you bring your dog and have a good time. And you can even feed him a pretzel if you want to. That's going to do it for tonight. As always, thank you so much for watching.
And be sure to keep up with us this weekend all over social media.
Have a great night.
Closed captioning provided by Value Carpet One.